Good morning from a gorgeous and sunny morning up here on the Downs at Ogbourne. Apologies, I haven't been around the last couple of Fridays and haven't therefore have been able to get a video update out for you. So I'll do that today, just give an update of everything we've been up to over the last couple of weeks, and then we'll be back again on Friday with everything we've been up to this week. Firstly, we continued on with put some more matting out. We've got some left over from those projects, so we'll put those out on some extra areas on the course. The first area we did has been at the end of the 16th pathway. We've put a good bit of time into moles, so tidying up from previous mole hills and being on top of our trapping. So we've been quite successful in the last couple of weeks where we've caught around a dozen or so moles. So that will really help tidy those areas up where from physically removing any of the mole hills and catching those ones so they're not coming back up again. We've given the greens some attention by doing some plugging, so using this hexagon shape plugger. We've particularly 918 where we had a lot of pecking damage from crows and rooks trying to get the leather jackets. We've gone in and repaired those areas. Some areas are small enough to use the whole cut-em, so we use those. Other areas we've used the hexagon where it was slightly larger. What we did was to wait for them to stop pecking, do our renovations as well, and then go in and decide which areas had some of the grass has come back through or the soil's quite level there, and we're confident of regermination, and we'll get that back through seed or the grass, the plugs that are in there regenerating. And others that we felt there was too much of an indentation and too full of sand, we felt ready for the season ahead, they need to be plugged out. So that was the sort of decision process behind which ones we did and which ones we didn't. So we feel confident that performance will be good on those greens from doing that job. And we also did a small plugging job from some damage we had on the back of the first as well. All these plugs are taken from the old putting green. We use the right hand side of the old putting green to almost use as a bit of a nursery where there's too much of a slope, and on the edge of that green where no holes are going to be anywhere near. So we can use that as good turf, and then we come back and sort of really try and pump some seed into this area to get that to regenerate, and then we can continue using that to repair the areas that we need. We've been out spraying the weeds on the fairways to tidy those up. The daisies rear their ugly head this time of year, so as I said, we've been out spraying those. We've been selective of, this is the 16th fairway, for example, but our weediest fairways are sort of 7, 12 and 16, so we've been out and done full blanket sprays on those. So what I mean by full blanket spray is to take the boom sprayer out, the 6-meter boom sprayer out, and give a full hit on those 3 fairways. And then the other fairways we've been very selective. We've been out with knapsacks and just sprayed off where we see weeds, because the volume is nowhere near as large on the others, and that's a big saving for chemical and far better for the environment as well. If you were to blanket spray all 10 hectares worth of fairways, that would cost around £530 worth of chemical, whereas we're using very, very little, next to nothing, when we go around and just knapsack, because we're only just using the chemicals we need just to hit the odd weed, as we said, and as I said, it's far better for the environment too. We've been up to the second bank and started strimming that down. We treat that as an annual job. It's quite a popular area, that bank on the second, so we trim that back down as low as we can, right down to the ground, collect all that grass and take it away, and in the hope that stays thin and wispy throughout the summer, so could give it the best opportunity of being thin and wispy throughout the summer. So as I said, popular area, and then the cut and collect. A machine couldn't get on this area to cut and collect it, so we sort of do that manually by strimming it. We've been trying to take advantage of the light mornings. it's great. Now it's nice that we come in at 6 a.m. And it's light in the morning, so we're able to get out there for an hour and a half and strim that and try and clear that up before golf, because it's quite a dangerous area. So we're trying to take advantage of those light mornings where there's not huge setups going on the golf course, and try and get in there early part of the day. And then if we get a relatively free tee time afternoon, then we'll pop back up there in the afternoons and carry on. We had a mini course maintenance at the start of last week, so we used that opportunity to put some pencil tines on our Pro Core 648 machine, and that was to re-pencil tine the greens, and that just helps close up some of the holes that we've still got out there. We're experiencing really quite dry weather, which isn't ideal for recovery coming out of our maintenance, so we put a wetting agent behind that pencil tine to get the wetting agent product in there. I'll do a feature on that more later in the summer, but yeah, so that helps retain moisture in the soil, and then we watered all that in, and then gave it a roll as well to tidy all that up and close those holes over at the top, so the putting surface wasn't too affected. Rain was forecast for later in the week, so we saved the granular fertilizer, which was due on the greens, till the end of the week, with the hope that rain was going to come, and then water all that in for us for what was supposed to be a wet weekend. That rain didn't come, so now we've reverted to putting the irrigation system on to start trying to break this fertilizer down. So between the granular fertilizer and getting some water onto the greens, then that's sort of really what we need to come out of the end of the recovery for our maintenance week, which we performed a few weeks ago, just to stop you do experience when it goes very dry the sand coming back up, as it has been. So we're trying to hammer, we're trying to roll, but that does bring sand back up, because it's just not quite washed all the way in yet. So yeah, we definitely could do with a drop of rain, but we will persevere with by using the irrigation system as and when we need it to really push and help get some growth to cover over the holes and get the greens back to their best as we come towards the end of recovery for our maintenance. We started working on the tees as well, particularly white tees, as to start prepping those for the season ahead. We've been delighted with the construction works we've done on white tees over the last couple of years to make some of those larger, allowing us to keep the whites in a measured course all year round. And just as we hit the spring, and we'd just like to give the smaller white tees, such as 10 white tee, for example, it's small, it's unirrigated, and so it just gets hit with a bit of wear. So we've just pushed these tees forward and given them some attention so we can try and recover them ready for the season ahead. So we've used these Dyna seeders, which are an attachment which go onto our greens mowers, and in the hopper there we'll put the seed, and then as we put those units down, it creates a dimple in the ground, and then the seed is then dropped out and goes into the dimple. With the larger seed, not all the seed quite makes its way into the dimple, so something that we worked on was to get over the tees once, putting the seed out, and then once the hoppers were empty, we'd have the empty hoppers and then do a couple more directions to create a few more dimples to really try and push that seed into the surface, because anything that's sort of left out on top will struggle to grow. And a similar story with fertilizer on greens. We again put a fertilizer application out on tees, all tees, and double passed on some of the weaker tees and areas that need sprucing up a little bit. Anticipate a bit of rain, and a bit disappointed to come in and only see 3 millimeters of rain over the weekend. So again, we'll put the irrigation up and try and get that watered in and broken down, so they can all start recovering nicely. And that's all for what hopefully is a good catch up over the last couple of weeks and of everything we've been up to. And we'll catch up with you again on Friday.